to the vibrant city of Nanjing, situated towards the central eastern coast of China on the Yangtze River Delta, a home to 30 million people and a proud host city for the 2018 F5VB Volleyball Nations League Finals. We're here in the Nanjing Olympic Centre for fantastic Friday with the last of the pool action to decide the lineup for Saturday's semi-finals, and two marvellous matches for you today. Host China take on Brazil later, but we start with USA versus Serbia. And the USA nearly saw their VNL dreams evaporate on day one, but came from 2-0 down to win 3-2 against Turkey and take them into this tie with Serbia. Their bogey team of recent years, at least off the back of a victory. Coach Kirai's team then still haven't forgotten or forgiven that dramatic and painful Olympic semi-final defeat at the hands of Serbia in Rio, and today could be the perfect time for payback. But Coach Kirai still looking for that perfect six out there on court, so it's going to be interesting to see who he starts, but surely Michal Barch-Hackley could get a starting lineup place. Well, in terms of Serbia, they were shaken by their 3-2 loss to Turkey yesterday, and were only a set away from crashing out of the VNL finals themselves. A 3-1 loss would have made today's match against the USA an irrelevance. But as it stands, Serbia can still go through with a victory, and coach Zoran Terzic needs his key players to be at their best today. But as good as the attacking power of outside spiker Boskovic is, as impenetrable as that middle blocking wall of Rasic and Stevanovic and Velkovic are, if the passing unit of Blagojevic, Milenkovic and Popovic cannot get the ball to the setters, well, it's going to be tough for them to win today. Let's take a look back then at the two matches in Pool B against Turkey for these two teams. Michal Barch-Hackley on from the bench, doing some serious damage to get their team across the line eventually. So USA recovering to win 3-2. And then Baladin, same server on match point in both games for Turkey, but a very different situation for the Turkish team this time around. The ball back and forth. Turkey hanging on in the rally, coming back from match point down against Serbia. And after Boskovic stuck it in the net, the celebrations were something else to behold. An emotional win for this Turkish team, and it means that they are in with a chance of going through to the semi-finals. And only a victory, we think, by 5 sets by Serbia today will change the ratios enough to make it difficult for Turkey to go through. So plenty of permutations in this group, and it's possible that everybody can end on 3 points. So it'll come down to sets ratios first of all. Those will all be equal, so we think points ratio is going to sort things out today. So a commanding performance for both these teams is required. Confirmation then of the results so far. Pool B, USA Turkey 3-2. Pool A, China getting off to a winning start against the Netherlands. And then yesterday, Turkey with that dramatic win over Serbia in 5. And Brazil, well, the machine looks well-oiled here in Nanjing because they destroyed the Netherlands by 3-0. And that sets up fantastic Friday. Look at that. USA versus Serbia, China versus Brazil. It's an absolute feast of world-class volleyball here from the VNL in China. Well, Pool 8, there we go, confirmation of how things stand for Brazil and China. So when they play later today, that's all about the top pecking order for going into the semis. And for Pool B, it's all about who on earth is going to get through. Turkey in the best position at the moment, but they will be watching this game very eagerly to see what the result is. Larsen and Rasic, the two captains, USA in the blue, Serbia in their changed white kit. USA won the toss, choosing to receive. And the starting sixes today are going to be absolutely crucial in terms of which players the coaches go with. And we wait with eager anticipation. Now, in terms of the head-to-heads between these two, well, it's the USA that lead 9-6, but you really can't get far past the last couple of results, and that's why Serbia are a bit of a bogey team at the moment for the USA. Lost to them in that semi-final in the Olympic Games. That was a tough one to take. And then earlier this season, Serbia coming through with their bench, really, in week 5 and no head coach in Santa Fe in Argentina, and beating the USA comfortably by 3-1. So the USA will need to recover from that and need to be very mindful of the fact that Serbia pretty much served them off court during the course of that week 5 encounter. Now, plenty of players to watch today. And to Tori Dixon, middle blocker was impressive yesterday in front of her, Barch Hackley. We'll see her in action as well, I'm sure. And I'm positive that she's going to start this one. She's so influential. And there's the Serbian captain, Milena Rasic. And in terms of the captains, we've got two very experienced individuals. Jordan Larsson, captain for the USA, 31 years of age, plays for Zazabashu in the Turkish league. And captain on the Serbian side of the net, Milena Rasic, plays for Vakifbank in Istanbul. So a nice head-to-head between the two skippers. So good head-to-head in the captain's department, but what about down on the floor for the scorers? Well, Michelle Barch Hackley, wing spiker for the USA, came on from the bench to great destructive conclusion, really, against Turkey. She was impressive when she came in, and surely she must get a start. Barch Hackley scoring 20 points from the bench, which was impressive. Good contribution for her. And I'm sure she'll be part of this starting lineup for the USA today. And then in terms of what Serbia do, well, they've got a couple of weapons there as well, but in the opposite position, Tijana Boskovic, the left-hander, 31 points versus Turkey, and it still wasn't enough to get the win. But two cracking players, but not by any means the only star players we'll see in action today. Well, welcome, Kira Michael, to the commentary booth again for what should be a fantastic Friday on the VNL. Are you looking forward to it?
Hi, Simon. Yeah, I'm really excited. I think it's going to be a fantastic game. Last time we saw these two teams on court, they both went 5-setters, so I hate to say it, but that's what I'm expecting again today. Yeah,
Turkey caused them all sorts of problems, but the last meeting in week 5, Serbia were all over the USA. Really strong service, and USA pass against Turkey did look a little fragile.
Yeah, well, I think that's something that the coaches we'll be looking at, and that's what we'll see. We'll have a look at their starting lineup and see if they've got a more stable pass in, and yeah, that might make the difference for them.
Go on then, early call. Any predictions for the result in this one?
Oh, definitely a 5-setter. I want to give it to USA.
There we go then. So USA just to nick it, and if they do, then that will be USA and Turkey through to the semi-finals from Pool B. So plenty of permutations still in this pool, and this is a really big game in terms of both these teams' ambitions to win the VNL title. So the formality is about to get underway. Both teams to head out to the court, be joined by the officials and then their national flags. And first up will be both countries' national anthems.
This time, would you please stand for the playing of our team's national anthems?
请全体起立，奏国歌。
First, the national anthem of the United States of America.
奏美国国歌。
Second VNL opportunity to avenge that 2016 Olympics semi-final defeat for the USA.
Serbia.
It's a very strong Serbian team. Recent encounters, Serbia have had the measure of their opponents, the USA, today. Can they do it again to get themselves a place in the VNL semi-finals here in Nanjing?
And now,
We're ready to meet the starting sixes, but before we do that, time for the officials to be introduced to the crowd. First official for this opening game of day 3, Susana Rodriguez Yativov Albacete in Spain. The most experienced female officials on the FIVB roster, being an international ref since 2002. And assisting from the floor, Hernan Casimichela of Argentina, on the international roster since 2007. So referees with a big job today, just like the players have. This is going to be an interesting encounter with so much riding on it for both teams. So again, it's about the starting sixes. It's who the two coaches are going to go with to open this match that can so often dictate the initial flow of a game. And no surprise to see the playmaker out on court for the USA, number 3, Carly Lloyd, 28-year-old who plays her volleyball over in Brazil. Starts in the setting position, but she's going to need the ball. She needs her receivers to get the ball to her today to make it an effective offense with the likes of Titori Dixon. Middle blocker, number 6, gets a start. Jordan Larson, the captain, on. Wing spiker, one of those passers that has to try and make sure the service reception is good and strong today. And joining Titori Dixon through the middle, number 16 for Luki Akinrodeo. 30 years of age now, plays her volleyball in Japan for Hitsamisu Springs in the top division there. And Robinson, the libero, in the different coloured shirt, goes to the floor, and number 14, no surprise to see Michelle Barch-Hackley, the top scorer from the bench for the USA in their 3-2 victory over Turkey on day 1. And there is the legend that is Karch Kirai, beach volleyball and indoor volleyball gold medalist in a quite incredible volleyball playing career. And he's not turned into a bad coach either. Serbia then. Two very fine setters to choose from, and it looks like Zoran Terzic is going to go with number 4, 30-year-old Bojana Zivkovic, plays her volleyball in Cannes over in France. Velkovic is going to get a start through the middle. That's interesting. So the Chemik police player in Poland is going to start through the middle with her captain, Milena Razic. Vakif Bank Istanbul player, one of our feature players at the top of the broadcast. And here's one of our ones to watch. Boskovic will be key to the performance of Serbia today. The big left-hander has to keep killing those balls out of system. Anything that's not quite working, she's got to finish. Milenkovic through the wing, and Blagojevic through the wing. So the two wing spikers, just like Larson and Barch-Hackley on the other side of the net, have to pass well today. And part of that passing unit is a new libero. So Popovic has lost her place today, and in comes Puzic instead. So, some changes, Kira, for both teams.
Yeah, I'm really happy to see that Michelle Barch-Hackley got in for the USA side. I think she did an awesome job last time they were out on court, and I know her personally. She played for the same Italian team that I played for, and I know that's a kind of place where you can really grow up as a player, and I think she's done that, and she's shown that she's causing a lot of problems for teams internationally as well.
So Dixon and Barch-Hackley hold their place after that win over Turkey, and a new libero on court for Serbia. I was impressed with her in week 5. She looked very good. She could be the answer to their passing today.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. We haven't seen a lot of her, but the little that we have seen, she's done an excellent job. And I think, yeah, as you said, passing's definitely key in volleyball all the time, especially in these high matches.
Here we go then. Our first match on fantastic Friday in Nanjing. It's going to be Zivkovic, the setter for Serbia, to get things underway. Serbia playing in the white from right to left in set 1. USA in their change strip of blue. And a nice kill from Kelly Murphy to put the first point on the board for the USA. Best of 5 sets, 25 points the target in each set, 15 for the decider, and it's entirely possible we'll go the distance today. Captain Jordan Larson with the serve for the USA. And that's what Serbia want to do today. They want a good feed into the setter. They want to open the middle.
Yeah, that was a great pass to start off by Blagojevic, right on the setter's head. She had all her options. She can go straight to the middle, open up that middle channel right from the beginning, making the blockers on the other side think about what she's going to do.
Quiet game for Milenkovic against Turkey yesterday. Needs to get herself into it today. She was one of the players that actually served the USA off court at times in their week 5 encounter. And Blagojevic gets the ball away off the block and into court, as she so often does. Plenty of options on the bench for both teams. Stefanovic not getting a start through the middle for Serbia, so she's waiting in the wings if Veljkovic doesn't perform. And I'm surprised we didn't see Bjelica more against Turkey as well. Although Boskovic did do the job as well as she could. Just couldn't score enough points. Barch-Hackley's first contribution to the game, unfortunately, is a miss. But they might challenge this. No, USA going to leave that. No touch.
Thought that might have been a touch on there. Thought she was going to start off strong, but still got time.
Plenty of volleyball to go in this one. You get the feeling this is going to be a big encounter to start day 3. Kelly Murphy is blocked, but out of court. So important what you do with your hands and your forearms in that block.
Yeah, they might have been reaching a little bit out on her.
Now, the rather awkward-looking serve of Titori Dixon, but it's effective. Good pass from Puzic. Boskovic's first contribution is to get roofed. Barch-Hackley alongside Ricky Akaradeo with the kill block.
Yeah, and I think they're expecting the ball to go out to her. They know that she's their big swinger on the side of Serbia, so all the blockers will be taking their first step towards her.
And still pressuring the wing spiker on that far side with the serve. Nicely finished by Boskovic. Usually takes the best part of the first set for the rotations to settle it and give us an indication of where the scoring opportunities are.
Oh, definitely, and the players have been warming up for 30 to 45 minutes, but to really get into the rhythm of the game, it takes, yeah, half a set, full set.
Now, if USA do that today, there's not much Serbia can do to stop them, I don't think. Brilliant pass from Barch-Hackley and then swings out wide to kill it through the left side.
Yeah, look how she went straight past the blockers. Barely had a look at them.
The touch by Serbia. So keen to get to that block. Just overreaching Veljkovic.
Yeah, and that's the thing. If you're expecting a big, hard hit, you might reach your hands in, but as soon as there's a tip, you have to change your momentum as well, and that's a hard thing to do when you're already in the air.
In fact, it was Boskovic that just caught it with the big left hand. And this is a good start from the USA. Serbia hanging in there, but USA look very balanced out there on court at the moment. The monster block, this time on the other side, but Kinrandeo involved in both. Nice shot.
There we go, and that's the change-up that Blagojevic is so good at. She's not going to just swing into the block 2 times in a row. She knows where they're standing now, she knows where their arms are, and she's just looking at them and just hitting right off them.
Still only 21, Boskovic, so could have another, excuse me, couple of Olympics. God, voice, apologies. Right, let's see if it's working again. There we go. Apologies for that. Apologies for that pass from Milenkovic. Serbia can't afford this today. They were struggling with their service reception yesterday against Turkey. It cost them the match in the end, and they're struggling again here.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's such a crucial skill in volleyball. You can't run an offense if the ball doesn't come to your setter and that she's comfortable and that she has 4 options in front of her.
Great view of the game from the ref cam, but also our high motion camera. There's Barch Hackley in full flight, just destroying that ball earlier at the start of this set. Lucas Slade, the backup coach, assistant coach to Karch Girai, fairly recent appointment for him. Former Croatian men's head coach, but was invited into the US program and studied over in the US, played and coached there for a long time. So a fairly natural progression for him to come back to USA volleyball. Well, they are targeting Milenkovic. She passed well and hit well against them in week 5, but she has had issues with service reception. And from the service line, the USA looking to the right side of the Serbian court and trying to give both Blagojevic and Milenkovic a really tough time of it. So far, it's working.
Good save.
This is good volleyball from the USA.
Yeah, good start for them. They're a scrappy team anyway, and they're the kind of team that doesn't let balls drop without somebody flying on the floor after it, and that can make the difference in a couple of points here and there. Can make the set.
Zoran Terzic, who's coached professionally in Serbia, Russia, and also Switzerland with Valero Zurich, calls another timeout. Well, it is his style, but you can see from the body language with the shrugging shoulders, there's a lot more to do with why are you doing this? It's a questioning kind of coaching style, demanding from his elite players that they make the adjustments. It's much more an information exchange on the US side. It's a fascinating difference in the 2 timeout areas.
Yeah, and well, I've played for both kinds of coaches before, and I think players will adapt their sort of reactions depending on what the coach gives you. And if you're someone who likes information, you may then go around and say to the second coach, hey, give me some stats. That's what's going to help me.
Another good touch, and USA giving it everything out there in defence. Trying to make sure that Serbia just can't hit the floor, and the hitters are going to have to work maybe through 2-3 attacks to get anything out of a rally. Blagojevic then back to the service line. Serbia needs some points here. Need to settle themselves down, otherwise an exit in the pool phase at the VNL is beckoning for the team that finished second to the USA in regular play. Well, that's amazing. Great pipe attack from the backcourt from Barch Hackley.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the key, getting her involved early, because she made such an impact on the last game. Just in the last couple of sets, she ended up being one of the top scorers, and I think USA knows that. They're going to get her involved early.
Another good block from the USA, 3 lined up at the net. And of the 18 points that we've seen so far in this opening set, Barch Hackley has 5 of them for the USA. She's the top scorer in the game so far. And, Zoran Terzic once again gambles here, so he's taking 2 early timeouts in set 1.
Yeah, I wish we could hear what he was saying, but as you said, from his body language, he's trying to get a reaction out of his players, trying to wake them up.
And happy to burn his 2 timeouts early just for the chance to talk.
Yeah, I mean, it's such a huge lead that he's sort of saying, right, this is the crucial moment. This is where we need to make a change. If we wait any more points, if we let them get any more of a lead, the set's gone. So he's got to do it now or never.
I say, for all of their brilliance, they are quite a confidence team. When they're on a high, they're virtually unstoppable. They've got 11 3-0 victories in the 5-week prelim phase, which equals the number of world records at a world tournament with Brazil. Sorry, equals the world record with the number of 3-0 wins with Brazil. And in this kind of form, you wouldn't bet against it today unless Serbia can do something to disturb that positivity on court.
Yeah, you can see they're all smiles. Obviously, it's easy to do when you're up 13-6, but they're in the flow, they're in the rhythm, and that's how they play their best.
Back line again from Barch Hackley. Well dealt with by Boskovic, knocking Akinrandao backwards with that hit.
That looked like a good defense.
Very good attempt,
so
wasn't
strong, Boskovic. And she's gone straight down the line because Akinrandao has just served and she's a middle and defense is not her specialty. So she's become a target.
Another middle player, Boskovic. She'll serve and go and sit in position 5 for defense. Oh, beautiful. Well, Tadori Dixon, just like Barch Hackley, came on from the bench against Turkey to great effect. And she's kept her place on court today. And for me, one of the most impressive middle blockers we've seen this season.
Yeah, she's so strong and so fast. And she hits the kind of angles that you normally see from a taller middle.
Well, I'm afraid this is her first set already that Serbia will want to forget. And Zoran Terzic, well, until a match starts, you don't quite know how your team are going to perform. But when they start like this, I guess the only thing you can think is, well, it can't get worse. Or can it? Nicely done, Boskovic. At the moment, the only shining light in the white-shirted team.
Yeah, she's done a great job there because the setter was a little bit out of system. The blockers were perfectly in place and she's just hit the back line. There's just no defender there.
Well, that's one of the fastest spikes we've seen at the finals, 105 kilometres per hour. No wonder she knocked Akinrandao off her feet. Good finish from Murphy. Very important that the right side of court for the USA functions. They are a team that tend to spread the workload across all of the players, so you see quite an even return on the stats from all the attackers, and that's the kind of team Karchkira is trying to build.
Yeah, and that's the kind of team that's really hard to play against. It's not just one player that's scoring all the points that you know, right, let's load our block in one area because she's going to get 90% of the balls. The USA team, it's really spread out, as you said.
Second technical timeout arrives, and if you'd offered the USA an 8-point lead at the start of today, they'd have taken it. Akinrandao, one of the influential middle blockers. They also have Gibbermeyer, who was leading the blocking stats coming into the finals for the USA. And they've also got Rachel Adams on the bench, so a bit of an embarrassment of riches. But Akinrandao has been in this team for a long time, plays her volleyball at Hitsumisu Springs in Japan, where she is a phenomenally popular player. And he's just one of those key players. It's great for a coach to be able to have a couple of names that you just think, yeah, they're going on the score sheet straight away. Akinrandao fits the bill. Yeah,
you want players with experience. Obviously, young players with a bit of fire, they can bring the energy and a bit of heat. But players with experience, they can survive a 5-setter.
Well, just about getting the job done at the moment through Boskovic. So Serbia hanging in there. But Bojana Zivkovic will be feeling rather lonely down there on court for Serbia at the moment because nobody's playing. They're not getting the ball to her, and she's almost unable to influence this game at the moment. Milenkovic to serve. Good slow down block. Boskovic. And there we go. Boskovic looks good today. 5th point for her.
Great swing. Straight through the seam. And she's got such power, and sometimes you think she must just be swinging blindly, but she sees where the hole in the block is and then just powers through it.
Yeah, lovely look at that from our slow motion camera close to the court. She's really looking, and Serbia getting a bit of joy from the service line, as they did in week 5. Robinson, the guilty culprit on this occasion, the libero, the passing specialist.
And we've said before, she is a fantastic passer, but libero is not her first position. She's new in this role, and so there'll be a couple of growing pains, I think.
Targeted again, better pass, much better pass, but Murphy is stopped. Beautiful stuff from Serbia at the net, and what a way to recover the situation.
Oh, great block. It looked like it was a one-on-one, and Razic is there just at the last minute to close the hole. But she was probably targeting Blagojevic in that situation. She's the smaller of the two blockers, but she's strong, and that's what makes the difference.
USA getting stuck on 16. Haven't moved since the last technical timeout, so Karchkirai calls his own timeout. He will just chuck a couple of pearls of wisdom in nice and calmly at the top of each timeout, and then Lucas Slade, the assistant coach, comes in with all the stats. Very punchy load of information gets given to the players.
And you said USA is spoiled for riches as far as players go. Same thing for coaches. You can see on the bench they've got specialist coaches for every position. You've got coach overall, you've got a stats man, you've got a setters coach, you've got a defense coach. So all the players are getting a lot of information in timeouts.
Good pass from Barch Hackley. No, she's blocked one-on-one. And Boskovic is playing a real role here in Serbia's comeback. 6th point for her.
Great one-on-one block. And that's the thing, Carly and the middle blocker on the USA side have done such a job to get a one-on-one. Razic on this side has jumped with the middle, given their outside one-on-one, that she has to score on that.
Another good pass from Barch Hackley, and a great pick up from Puzic. Oh, and again. Tight and finished. Oh, that's a shame, because Serbia did really well to stay in that rally.
Yeah, good defense from both sides.
Boy, did they need that point. Desperately important. Stuck on 16 for a few there. Now getting the scoreboard ticking over again. Tori Dixon with the serve. Blagojevic with the overpass. Finished by Akinradeo.
And you can't give her that kind of ball. She's just going to take it, and she's going to eat it alive, because that's what you do. That's the experience of a two-time Olympian. Ball comes over the net. It's going back down. Super.
Dixon again has this little stumble as she hits her serve. It must be very difficult for the passers to watch. But nicely handled. Blagojevic with a good ball into the setter. And Zivkovic goes back to what has pretty much been plan A, try and use the middle.
Right. Yeah, and as you said, when you get the ball in, she can. She's got the options, and she's got the strength through the middle to make the blockers on the other side think.
Anything you can do, we can do just as well. What a shot from Akinradeo.
And they make it look so easy, but it's hours of practice to get this split-second timing between the setter and the middle. Because if you look how fast the ball leaves Carly's hands, and by the time Feluca has contacted it, it's just a split second, and it takes a lot of time to get that kind of connection.
Substitution. Hancock in for Murphy, but it's a double sub, so Annie Drews is on in the opposite position. Familiar substitution for the USA. Another good kill from Boskovic, who at the moment is holding this Serbian team together.
Yeah, no surprise there. She's their big scorer in every game.
She'll enjoy that one over over the top of Barch Hackley with that spike. 3 points, 4 points in it. Oh dear, well that's a shame. Again, the pressure released with the service error.
And serving, you want to put power on it, but it's much more of a precision skill than attacking.
Good pick up. Ball comes back. Boskovic off the hands, and she scores. So Serbia would have challenged, I think, for that potential floor touch on the pickup from the USA, but instead just killed the ball. Keep your challenge. Just starting to warm up nicely this game after a slow start from Serbia. Blagojevic with the serve. Still USA set to lose, though, with that 4-point advantage. Coming back, free ball Serbia. Got to kill this. Oh, that's a huge hit from Veljkovic.
Super.
That felt like 3 days of frustration at not getting on court, all in one shot.
Good save by USA. But yeah, as you said, as soon as it's a free ball, got all their options and they're at the advantage.
Nice read from Veljkovic as well. And good work from Milenkovic off the block, and Serbia coming back into this one and looking very dangerous here.
Great swing, great use.
Oh, overcooked, I think, from Drews. And that's the problem for the left-handers. If the ball doesn't quite get there, they over-rotate on it.
Yeah, that's right. It's difficult to adjust as a left-hander on the right side. But the ball, exactly, if it doesn't come all the way out, you're sort of swinging around it rather than over it. And that's where you can get that extra rotation and the ball just travels a bit wide.
And Karch Kirai, who tries to keep his cards close to his chest, is an angry man down there. Says the buzzer for the timeout wasn't working. And when he went up and inquired why the timeout hadn't been given, the second official said, well, I didn't hear you. And he's not happy.
Seal the line, low and tight. Okay, it's going to be Boskovic trying to bring him back. Okay, be ready for that.
Yeah, you heard the coach there saying, seal the line low and tight. And basically that's a bit of volleyball jargon, which means when you put your hands over the net as a blocker, you're not going straight up, you're not letting yourself be a target, you're putting your hands as low as possible and as tight to the net as possible. So when the ball does come back at you, it's not drifting, it's not dribbling down your front, and it's not being hit off of you and out of bounds. So if you hear coaches say low and tight, that's what they're talking about.
We love a bit of jargon. Nothing wrong with that. Blagojevic with a good service run. 1 point in it from a commanding lead, the USA. 8 points up, remember, at one stage. Oh, they need a point here. Oh, goodness me, that was going way out, and Blagojevic knew it. USA could get away with it here. Barch Hackley, though, stuffed, set too low, and the blockers were just waiting. And we're back to a level game in set one.
Incredible comeback.
Mega rally. And it was a mega rally because the outcome of this was so desperately important. That ball was going out, and if Serbia had lost this point, they'd have been kicking themselves. But fortunately, Veljkovic again at the heart of it with a super block.
Low and tight.
There you go, absolutely.
Done.
Obviously listening to the assistant coach on the USA side of the net. 20 all, would you believe it? 8-point comeback from Serbia complete. USA in bother now and not passing well. And Barch Hackley has gone from being the provider to the target.
Oof.
Really hurting her, aren't they, on these serves? Double substitution reversed, and ever since that double substitution was made, USA have been losing points.
Yeah, that was the moment, wasn't it?
Better pass. Larsson can't kill it, though. Boskovic. No. Well, you've got to run out of luck at some point. Not that there's a lot of luck in Boskovic's play. She is superb. But just couldn't get it past the US block, and that's a desperately important point for them. So they level it up at 21 all. And our first look at Kim Hill, ring spiker, on for Akinradeo. So she won't play through the middle when she gets to the front court. This is all about service and defense for Hill. Oh, brilliant. What a hit from Veljkovic. She's been superb.
Yeah, and what a change in the reception on the Serbian side. They didn't have a chance to run the middle the first half of this set, and they've just turned their passing right around and given the setters options, and that's what you see. That's the change that they make.
I said US were a confidence team, and their confidence will be low right now. They'll be very concerned about the way their service reception has disintegrated in the last 10 minutes or so. Veljkovic to serve. And fortunately for the USA, they don't have to pass it. 22 all. Good front line. Murphy, Dixon, Larson, with Lloyd in the back line serving the setter. Boskovic again, and she has been quite superb in this first set and instrumental in not just keeping Serbia in the set, but now giving them a chance to win it.
What a swing. Yeah, she makes it look easy. It looks easy when you see it in slow-mo, but that ball's going so fast. Hard to see from the defensive line.
Good line up now in the front court for Serbia. Another poor pass from the USA, and well saved by Murphy.
Little off-speed attack.
Terzic not happy again. Oh dear. Well, we can smile, but it's huge down there on court for these two teams. Big day at the office here in the VNL. Boskovic tight, gets a reuse. Going to go again. 3 blockers up. Can't beat them. USA's chance. And still alive. Barch Hackley. Great pickup from Puzic.
Super rally.
It's a free ball to Serbia.
This could be it.
No. Murphy. Picked up again by Puzic, who's got her in her pocket at the moment. Oh, that's a huge hit. And another mega rally in this intriguing first set. And it means that Serbia, from 8 points down, mega rally their way to set point in the opener.
Well, that's a great pickup by Lloyd. Out of system attack. Down the line. Super defense on both sides.
Set point Serbia. Do you believe it? 16-8 down at the second technical timeout. This is incredible from them. A lot of heart being shown by the Serbian team out there. Good pass, Barch Hackley. And a very fine kill, because Totori Dixon had to do a lot with that ball.
Yeah, it was a bit tight. She had to squeeze that through the block. A little bit low. But that's the thing. You have to take what you get as a middle or as any attacker, really, and just try to do your best with the ball.
2 points clear required to win this set. Big swing from Boskovic, and just when Serbia really needed it, she's missed one.
Bit of a break for USA.
Could be a challenge. It is. Serbia are going to ask the question, did this hit the block? But irrelevant, really. They're just trying to slow the match here. So no touch. Point stands to the USA, and now they have a set point. Well, the balance of play in terms of the way the USA started, then if they win it, probably be fine. That would be justice in that circumstance, but Serbia have done so well to play themselves back into this one. They won't want to go anywhere. Middle it is again that does the damage. Different player, same result.
Such a weapon. Absolutely incredible arm, Rasic.
25 all. Setting coach just yelling some instructions into Carly Lloyd about what set she wants for this next play. Do they go middle again, USA? Well, they don't need to bother. Rasic's incredible arm flies it out of court, I'm afraid.
They're too strong, that one. Let USA off the hook.
Second set point for the USA. Murphy to serve. So there's a target for the hitters on the net with Carly Lloyd, the shorter blocker. And that's where they go opposite to Boskovic, who gets a big, heavy hit on that one and loops it out over the sideline.
And for such a young player, she just has no fear. She just looks like she's going 100% every time the ball comes her way.
26 all, 2 set points saved by Serbia. Barchakli, good fast flat offense. That's the Carly Lloyd trademark set out to the left side. That's a quick spike as
and that's
well.
that's gonna beat the block every time.
Third set point, USA. Chance here. Larson, though, blocked. And a third opportunity to win this set for the Americans goes begging.
Oh, super block.
Blagojevic to serve. We called it Fantastic Friday at the start of this third day here at the VNL finals, and so far it's delivering. Slow down block, chance for Serbia. Zivkovic chases over. And Milenkovic just flies it out over the sideline. Tough hit there for her.
Are they going to request a challenge? I saw a couple of players pointing. That was in, that was in.
Well, they've influenced the coach enough to press the buzzer to request a challenge, but this is the last one. Used their first one on the block touch, didn't happen. And it has missed by a hair. Our official measurement for not being in.
That might have been 2 hairs.
Yeah, that was the slightest of margins. But it wasn't close enough. Fourth set point to the USA. Akinradeo with the serve. But there's still that opportunity over Lloyd's block for Serbia to hit if they can get a good pass into Zivkovic. It's tight. Oh, and there's the block. They did go out that side. But it's a beautiful finish. And Lloyd lines that up really well.
That's the thing, she might be a little bit smaller, and normally on some teams the setter would be a weak point in the lineup, but I don't think Carly Lloyd's block is a weak point by any means.
Brilliant finish. And virtually one-on-one. What a stop on Milenkovic. And what a finish to this set. And I don't know if you saw as the teams walked across to the sideline, but for Luki Akinradeo, with a big puff of the cheeks, that one was close. From an 8-point lead, they just about salvage it. And the USA leads Serbia here in Nanjing on day 3 by 1 set to love. Well, there we go. Eventually, we can all have a breather. 29-27. But USA 16-8 up. Just about managed to take the first set. But as coach Zoran Terzic will be telling his Serbian players now, if you go 8 points down, you can't expect to win anything. So for them to even be in contention was amazing.
Yeah, that was an incredible comeback by Serbia. I think that's the kind of volleyball you want to see on the first day. As you said, neither of the teams will have been that happy at one point or another point, but it's a good way to start, I think.
Let's take a look at the serve placement. They're trying to hit where possible, both Blagojevic and Milenkovic. They haven't really followed Puzic, the libero, around, understandably, but they're trying to pressure the two wing spikers who are chiefly responsible for that service reception. You don't usually see opposite players and middle players involved. And there we go, that's the setter contact point. So that's where the setter has been able to use the middle in that green zone.
Yeah, and as soon as it gets to the green zone, that's when the setter has all her options available, and that's when they're going to be most of a threat in offense. And so that's what the reception is trying to do, put that setter in contention for a point.
Well, Boskovic is leading the scoring at the moment, unsurprisingly for Serbia. And the other thing that we noticed about where the percentage of balls is going, they're not using the left side much at all. So Milenkovic and Blagojevic not really getting fed on attack. It's all about middle and opposite for Serbia. USA have had a much more even distribution, but my concern is as soon as that US pass breaks down, Carly Lloyd can't run the fast, flat ball that she wants to run.
Yeah, and I think she's had a little bit of trouble with her shoulder in the last couple of months, so she might be... Yeah, she might have a bit of shoulder strength issues.
Better pass for her to work with. Nice feed. Good set from Lloyd. And feeding Barch Hackley, who looked so impressive at the start of the last set. You see her yelling for the ball there, just to let the setter know she's there.
Yeah. And they've tricked the block on the other side. The middle blockers moved with Carly, followed her out a little bit and left Barch Hackley open, basically with a zero block.
And that's what the hitters want. No traffic in front of them to be able to get up there and just hammer away. And the good setters will give you a few of those during the course of a set. Free ball USA. Oh dear, traffic again. Well, they've got themselves out of trouble there. But that ball dropped just where Lloyd was penetrating to. That's what got him in all sorts of bother, but well saved by Murphy. He's made a steady start to this game for the USA. Good serve, well dealt with. Nice finish from Boskovic.
That's a good swing, but to me, it looked like the block had done their job. They'd slowed it down, and the defense in the back, two players looked at each other and weren't sure whose ball, who was going to take it.
Zivkovic still on court in the setting position for Serbia. Just saw that little look that Carly Lloyd had. She knew the ball was going to be on her head, so she could take a look at the blockers.
Yeah. And that's what the setters are trying to do. They're playing a mental game, I suppose, with the blockers on the other side. And if they can see them take one little step in one direction, they'll send the ball the other way.
Instruction being yelled from the bench during the rally by the American coaches, chiefly to the blockers.
In the first part of that rally, it looked like they were going to go and close a three block out with Boskovic on one side, and the setters send it back to the other side. That's the only downside, I suppose, of guessing.
Free ball again for Serbia. And the most impressive part of their game, apart from Boskovic in the opening set, was the contribution of Velkovic and Rasic. Now they're going to challenge this, I think, because the ball's been given out. Serbia want to know if this touched the block. In fact, it's a USA challenge, so it's USA saying we didn't touch it. It's the other way around.
Oh. No touch.
Good call. Well, that's an experienced player in Kelly Murphy, thinking clearly under pressure. Calmly turned to Karch-Kirai and said, don't touch it. Let's call a challenge, and it's a successful challenge. So USA retain 2 for the rest of this set for the moment. To Tori Dixon, the stumbling jump float serve. Effective, though. Could get USA a point here. Nicely worked.
Good use on the free ball.
And Carly Lloyd's fast, flat sets. What's she trying to do with those? What's she trying to use in that particular skill?
Yeah, she's trying to put the blockers on the other side. She's trying to make them late to the block. So if she has all of her options available and the blockers on the other side have to think about it, and they just don't have time, really, to make their approach and get a fully closed block if it's too fast and too flat to be outside.
So effectively affect the decision-making of the middle block, but then also pressure their movement time.
Right, exactly.
It's good to watch. When she gets it right to the big hitters, then it's very tough to stop. Well, getting a good double block up on the outside of Boskovic, but Boskovic once again fashions a point. That takes her to 15 in this game already.
And she's not hitting such a fast ball as the USA offense, but she's so strong, she's just powering right through the middle of the block.
Good kill to the corner from Larson. Middle position. Back when the sport of volleyball was developing, back in the 50s and 60s, it really was a case that the countries in Asia would play a very fast, tactical game. But the Eastern Bloc countries, the Soviet countries, tend to play this slower, higher ball, which we see now and again, but the modern game is all about speed. It really is. Multiple attackers, plenty of speed. Got a concern here down on the scorers table, so the second official's job is to go and have a chat to the scorers and make sure the right points have been input. Coaches and players always very quickly on it, and 5-5 says Karch-Kirai, as you can hear. He's not in the best of moods today, is Karch.
Well, they started so strong, USA, and they were all smiles and they were all confidence and looked like everything was just running smoothly, and there was just one moment, as you said, in the last set where things just started to break down, and that's testament to Serbia serving strong, putting pressure on them in the block, being able to start using their middle attackers, but USA, they'll be looking at themselves and saying, that was all our fault. We shouldn't have let that happen.
Well, this is unusual. We don't normally see this. Officials and scorers, who are all volunteers at each venue, are very much on it. Well trained by the FIVB and the local federations, and just making absolutely sure that they get this right. I mean, in the context of this set, just a single point probably won't make much difference, but you've got to be absolutely sure the score's gone the right way.
Well, it could make a difference.
It could.
If you end up at the end of the set coming down to just the wire, like the last one did, 1 point makes a difference. Absolutely.
And that's when you say to your coach, why didn't you fight for us on that point? Karch-Kirai's still in there, just in the background. You can't see him in that shot, but he's just behind and shouting out what he thinks has happened. Another little look at the ref cam. We saw that on the side of Susana Rodriguez's head. And that's the view that the referee gets from up above the game. That's the view down on the floor. And that's given us some of the most spectacular shots we've seen from these finals so far.
Players trying to stay warm. And these kind of stops in game, they really do break concentration sometimes. They break momentum if one team is on a roll and then they start they just start thinking about other things, or they get a little bit cold. So players are just dancing around, trying to stay focused, trying to stay warm, keep their muscle groups moving.
Well, Serbia are never far from a dance-off, I can tell you. They were brilliant in Santa Fe. I mentioned it the other day. But there was a big dance troupe came out before the match against Argentina. USA giving it some as well. That's what you want to see. That's brilliant. There is a volleyball match going on, though, I can tell you. And it's a very serious one as well.
It's not Dance Dance Revolution.
Finally, we restart. And after all of that, the USA just stick another point on the board anyway.
Super block. Solid shoulders. When you get those slow-mos and you can see the muscle groups of the blockers, it's all the shoulders and all core.
Oh, yeah, straight down from Serbia. Their turn to shore things up at the net. Volkovic again.
Super block. That's what you want to see when the ball hits the arms of the blocker. They don't move. They're not going anywhere. They want to create a wall.
In play, Pusic dumps it over. And a slide D from Akinrodeo. We haven't seen a lot of that slide attack from either team today. They've been very forceful in front of the setter.
Yeah, definitely. But you see Carly have a little peek across the net. Yeah, and testament to her. She's trying to beat the blockers on the other side. And it's a tricky skill, setting with precision and speed, and not giving any giveaways, basically. Some setters they'll push their hips forward a little bit, they'll move their head back, or their arms will tell you which way they're going, but that's the trick to a good setter, is not giving anything away.
As technical timeout arrives. And I think what we're getting from the ref cam is that we should be charging the referees ticket prices, because that looks like the best seat in the house.
A bit of pressure on that seat, but
yeah, that's fair enough.
good view.
Look at this. And look at this for a save. Brilliant recycle. Pusic dumps it over, and wonderfully, you just watch that ball flowing back and forth. And getting control of that spherical object is the key. Once you've got control, then you can create all sorts of problems for your opposition, and a free ball will give you the perfect opportunity to do that, which is what the USA just had. Barch-Hackley then to serve. Nicely read, but not finished, unfortunately, by the American captain. Good play from Zivkovic.
Yeah, so when the setter's front row, if she gets a tight ball, she effectively becomes another attacker that the blockers have to watch out for.
Grajevic with the serve. The slide again used by Lloyd, and this time has to actually finish the point herself, but good awareness from the American setter. Come the safety goggles. Akinrodeo back to the service line. Overcooking it though.
Yeah, the servers have to find a balance between putting pressure on the receivers on the other side and just giving a free ball, and sometimes you'll see, that's where the errors start to creep in. They're trying to put pressure on the reception.
Brilliant block, one-on-one. Milenkovic gets Murphy.
It's a bit tight, I think, for Dixon. And the block was all over it. It looked like the block grabbed the ball almost before she did.
Nicely mixed up by Larson. Looked like she was going to tip it, then put a bit of force into the spike and got a second go at it.
And there's what I mean about the setter being a potential attacker. She's taken her middle blocker. Vasic has jumped with the setter to make sure she doesn't attack, thereby giving a one-on-one block to the outside.
Which puts her back into that spike, but it comes back with interest.
Super block.
This match is teaching us is you should never take anything for granted. And now both teams having to really work for their points.
Yeah, and they're both such high-level teams. I expected nothing less than back and forth, point for point, block for block, attack for attack. And that's what they've given us.
So Zoran Terzic concerned. Bit of a momentum swing with this 3-point lead for the USA. Calls a timeout. Not out of this match by any means, Serbia. And what the USA have to guard against is a return to service reception problems that we saw in the first set.
Yeah, Serbia has come back from a much larger deficit in the last set, so they won't have any confidence issues right now. They know that just a couple of points here, strong serving, put them back in the game.
Lloyd. Good lineup for 3 rotations for the USA. I wonder if we'll see the double substitution after the problems they had in set 1.
Nice.
She's absolutely nailed that. And a quick apology. It's probably come off the blocker's head and out. Never intentional.
That's the danger when you're a tall player and you can jump. Your forehead gets in the way sometimes.
It's become a feature as well of the modern game, the apology through the net. Nice block, no apologies needed there. I think it's quite a nice line. You've just hit the ball very hard off your opponent, knock them over, and you can go and say, do you need a doctor? I'm very sorry, do you need a doctor?
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I mean, everyone's going to be kind to each other because in international play, they might be teammates.
And there's a few teammates at the VNL finals on opposite sides of the net. It's a bit of a predicament. Do you go and have a chat to your teammate if they're on the opposing national squad? 2 points in it. Larson to serve. USA have a cushion they can work with here. Boskovic again off the wing. Nicely picked up from Larson. Barch Hackley is roofed by Razic.
Great block.
Crowd agree.
Monster block.
It's the terminology we use. Monster block, super spike, mega rally. Serbia level it. Lugojevic goes off pace. And Barch Hackley goes out. And Serbia back on level terms, and here we go again.
And that's difficult position for Barch Hackley to be in. She's gone and done a triple block on the outside, and then she's got to, by the time the ball gets back on their side, she's got to run all the way back around to her position and try and hit from the wing again. It's
on a fast, flat set.
Exactly.
There we go. There we go. Kelly Murphy sorts it out. 7th point for her.
And Razic, she didn't even jump in that occasion because she's maybe taken a step in one direction and she said, right, I've given up something, I'm coming back, I'm going to take the tip, but there was no tip there.
Good shot from Boskovic. That's a line hit of the highest quality.
Oh yeah. She sees the hole. They've got to decide beforehand, are we going to take diagonal or are we going to take line on this player? And they've said diagonal, and they've given her a couple of balls width to hit down the line, and she can do it.
Wheels coming off here for the USA. 3-point advantage turns into a single point disadvantage. Velkovic enjoyed that one. Pretty easy though, in terms of your day's work. That's one of the more simple jobs Velkovic is going to have today. Overpass again. Oh, dear me.
2 in a row for Razic. Super serve. And the overpass, the middle usually gets credit for putting it back down on the floor, but actually the credit should go to the server for causing the overpass in the first place.
Carly Lloyd, the setter, so as soon as she touched that ball above the height of the net in that front zone, then it was going to be a fault. And unfortunately, captain Milena Razic can't follow that up with another serve. But the partial damage has been done, and there's the double sub. In comes Annie Drews in the front line, which means Misha Hancock is on in the back court. Misha Hancock came on after about a set and a half against Turkey and finished off the game, stayed on. Carly Lloyd didn't get another look in. So two very good setters, comfortable setters on the American side, and she starts with an ace. How about that?
Good start. And that's the thing, these players, you say, oh, she's great at setting, she's a great attacker, but they have to be so well-rounded. They have to have every skill. Middles have to play defense, setters have to serve, blockers have to attack. It's not just, you don't get very many one-sided players.
15-all situation recovered. This substitution did not work in the first set for the USA. Let's see if Drews and Hancock can make it work in set two. And the answer initially is they can't. 1 in, 1 out from Hancock. We go to the second technical timeout in set two. Serbia just nudging back into the lead, 16-15. Well, this has become a very difficult match to call, but it's because we're getting these pockets of brilliance from both sides of the net, and that allows them just to nudge back and forth, and as you said, an ebb and flow to the game. Boskovic is the reason that Serbia are generally able to force the issue. She's an impressive athlete.
Yeah, and especially when their reception is not on point. If they can't play with a full line of 4 attackers, she's there to fix the ball, basically. Anytime they're out of system, she's such a talented athlete that she can score the point out of system, out of her comfort zone.
One of those players you could pretty much put into any lineup here at these VNL finals, and she would benefit that team. Very much part of the team, but also working almost as an individual entity out there on court. The Terminator, Boskovic with the serve. And there we go. There's the Terminator for the USA, Annie Drews. That's what she's on court to do.
Great swing down the line. It's a super turn as a left-hand attacker.
Free ball USA. And Drews given a second go after that first hit by Hancock. Decides to go back to the hot hitter.
And she's caught the middle blocker, Rasic, on the other side. She's caught her a little bit off guard. You can see her arms were off the net a little bit, and the ball's just dribbled down her front, basically.
Good pick up, but not quite in a playable zone from the USA. So once again, Boskovic sticks another point on the scoreboard for Serbia. Good pick up from Puzic. Boskovic again, wonderful stuff from Hancock. And Barch Hackley as well. Larson gets the hit away. But Serbia say she's missed the block. USA will have to challenge this if they want to reverse the decision.
Super defense on both sides.
That was good to watch. Challenge is requested by the USA. Did this touch the hand of the blocker is the question. Information exchange between coaches and players on the US bench.
Yeah, it's exactly like you said. A timeout is almost like another challenge, is almost like another timeout.
Little touch on the middle finger of Zivkovic's left hand.
Got her.
Slightest, faintest touch. That's exactly right, Kira. Got her. So, no substitutions. The one that we saw in set one, Akin Rodeo vacates the court. She's been serving well and defending well, so the middle blocker might be a bit aggrieved there that Hill's come in for serve and defence. But that's specifically why Kim Hill is on now. Oh, what a hit. And that's exactly what you were talking about in terms of what Boskovic can do.
Oh, yeah, she can convert a point that looks like it's going one way. Looked like USA had that under control, and she's just powered it down the line.
And down goes the block. And I have to tell you, in week 5, when Serbia so comfortably beat the USA, Milenkovic blocked Drews something like 7 times in the match and got Drews taken off court. And next to Razic, she's just stopped her there. Serbia 19-18, USA timeout.
The assistant coach there is giving information about what the other team has on their lineup. He's saying, right, they're in rotation 6. This is who's up front. These are your hitters. This is what they've done in the last couple of points in this rotation. So this is what you can expect. If it was working last time, it's probably going to work again.
And if it's a high ball, jump late. Don't go up in your normal rhythm. Just wait for the block. And Karch-Kirai was very positive, saying after the side out. They haven't earned it yet, and they don't earn it. Razic stops the captain, her opposite captain, on the other side. Well, that was going out, so USA could have got that point without having to go through that attack. Easy for us to say. Hindsight's a wonderful thing, as is slow-mo replays. In the heat of the action, not so easy. You can't take chances.
The general rule is if you don't know, play it. You'd rather play it and than land in.
Oh, wow, they've got away with one there. Double substitution reversed. Carly Lloyd back on the court and races over. Now, if she wasn't front court, she's just conned the Serbian block here. Oh, and if she's touched it, it's a fault. But she was front court. One more rotation, so that substitution reversed earlier than it normally would be. Well played, Carly Lloyd. Boskovic wants a touch, so we're going to see a request for a challenge here from Serbia, surely. Not going to let this one go without a look. Well, she keeps her eyes open when she hits, and she has a good look at what she's doing. So the best person to see whether it touched the block is Boskovic, and she said it did.
Not even close.
She must have blinked on that occasion. Can't believe it.
Wishful thinking from her.
It's going to be tight again in this set. That's for sure. Who can get the advantage? 20-all. USA can take a point. That's well played. Not as clean as Karch would have liked, but it's still the point. Timeout. Zoran Terzic of Serbia. Little 2-point swing there. Not a bad call just to stop the match after losing the challenge and then losing the next point. Arch Hackley must be key in getting this set across the line. She's just one of those players. She's always smiling down there on court.
Yeah, she looks relaxed.
And that's long. Good long look at that as well from Barch Hackley in defence before she left that. Good positioning and a three-point swing puts USA into a position where they can win this set now.
Triple block.
Serbia not giving up, and Boskovic doing the job after some remarkable defence from the team in white.
Yeah, as you said, the distribution between the attackers on the Serbian side, it's really, really one-sided at the moment. Boskovic 19 attacks and the next closest 4. It's incredible.
Which for a read and react blocking team like the USA should be a dream, but they can't stop her. And Murphy is roofed by Milenkovic. And Milenkovic coming to life. 3 good blocks from her out on the left-hand side.
Yeah, it looks like the middle, Carly and the middle on this side have done a good job to get a one-on-one. And that was Murphy's job to put it away. It might have been just a little bit tight, giving the blocker the advantage.
From that minor advantage, USA back to 22 all. Karch calls another timeout.
Over there, they're going to set left side. High ball, listen up. Middle back, they're going to take a step to the right space. They're going to go in line with the corner on 18 here on the left side. They're going to stay deep. Jump the ball.
Once again, the information gets passed across. Every so often, though, for me, it just sounds a little bit intense, a little bit panicky. And that's maybe what the USA will be feeling here, because yet again, they forged a lead. Yet again, Serbia have come back.
Yeah, pressure's on the reception now. Oof.
Good timeout, Karch.
Yeah. And they'll be happy with that, relieving that pressure a little bit by having a free point.
Oh. Masic somehow gets that over in play, but it was advantage USA from there. And after all the concerns of the Serbian comeback, USA find themselves with 2 set points.
It's a great use by Barch Hackley. Saw the hands there waiting for her and just grabs the ball and just pushes it out off hands. And that's really hard to defend against as the blocker that's up in the air.
Busa in. Passed pretty well yesterday, served very well. Did Bianca Busa. So she's on for Serbia in the #1 shirt. On for Blagojevic. Not a great pass. Serbia in trouble here. And can't quite sort it out. No, it's a fault over the centre line and onto the net from Boskovic. And having looked like they were going to cause USA problems towards the end of the second set as well, Serbia just fade. And after that timeout and then service error, USA didn't give them another look in. And it is the USA that move into a 2-sets-to-love lead. 29-27, 25-22. USA lead by 2.
So there we go, 25-22 in the second set, USA to Serbia. They just snuck it out at the very last minute there in both those sets, and USA end up 2-0. Yeah, not much to say on the stats. I think the blocks on the Serbian side, it's did an incredible job, 7-2, but USA just outspiked Serbia, 15-11. A couple of errors crept in on both sides, but in the end, it was the last few points of each set that just made the difference to put USA over the edge out Serbia, 2-0.
Set to contact points once again. And Serbia just been taken out that comfort zone too much to run what they want to run. Thank goodness for Boskovic.
Yeah, that's right. And they gave the ball a lot to Boskovic, but it just wasn't enough. You can't have a one-person team out there.
In terms of the USA, well, pass tidy enough at the points when they really need it to be. As you can see, some issues there as well. With both Hancock and Lloyd being forced away from that green zone where they want to be for the sets. Barch-Ackley then will still be key to this USA performance today. It's not just about attack. She's got to keep receiving the ball well, getting this ball into the setter. And there's the star for Serbia at the moment. 20 points in total, 19 attacks. Not quite exclusive, but Serbia going to Boskovic a lot. Here we go then, set 3. And that doesn't start particularly well for Serbia. Chasing this match now, 2 sets to love down. But they've shown us enough to prove they can take sets in this game.
Right, that's it. But for me, it's just the last couple of points. They get a little bit loose, and that's where USA has run away with it both times.
Forcing the middle, and that's not always a good thing to do. 2 points straight up for the USA. Doesn't look to have a care in the world, does she, Barch-Ackley? Incredible. And very cleverly done.
Yeah, they're all smiles on the USA side again. And if you're 2 sets up to Serbia at this point, you're going to be smiling for sure.
Zoran Terzic not smiling. That nearly came over. Fortunately for Serbia didn't. So a point on the board in set 3 for the Serbian team. To serve.
Oof.
Well, it was a mess from start to finish, that point, I'm afraid, for the USA.
Good recovery by USA, but Rasic is there to change the direction of the ball where there's no defender on the floor.
Is Milinkovic going to target Barch-Ackley again? No.
A couple of free points for USA at the beginning.
Neither coach looks comfortable at the moment. Bogojevic forced a bit wide, tried to find the angle, but good stop from the US blockers. And again, 2 in a row.
2 in a row, that's unusual for her. I think Bogojevic is one of the players that she knows that she's at a disadvantage height-wise, especially against this USA block. And normally, that second time, she would look to go off hands, make a tip, a roll shot, find a way around, not just power it straight into the block twice in a row.
6-2 USA. Timeout Serbia. And this Serbian team now look to be heading out of this competition, although Turkey will be watching on very closely indeed, because if Serbia come back and win this 3-2, then the ratios and the points, both sets and points, will work against Turkey, we think. So there'll be some concerns for the Turkish team. No concerns at the moment for the USA. 2 up and heading to the semi-finals as the top team in Group B, with Turkey to go through to the semis after their fantastic performance yesterday against Serbia. Boskovic long. Good contact on the ball and got it off the block, so it counts as a Serbian point still. No debate from the US team. Well made by Murphy, because that was tight again, but didn't have much of a block to beat.
Yeah, and that's a super change of direction by Carly on that set. She's had to run forward, and then she's pushed it way out wide to the back to make the blockers on the other side turn around and run in the other direction.
Well, you saw that high set going on the reverse to Boskovic, and the blockers trying to force themselves to go late. But they've still got to go high against Boskovic. She's hitting really well today. 22 points for her. And another rhythm-killing service error, and it is from Boskovic.
Yeah, it seems like just every time Serbia looks like they're on the verge of making a run for a couple of points, they just miss a serve, and as you say, the momentum is just killed. And then they've got to work to get the next point again. Looked like the coach was saying, focus on the first contact. We don't want to have to go to 4, 5, 6 rallies back and forth. Just focus on the first pass, and Carly can take care of the rest.
Six teams here in Nanjing for the inaugural Volleyball Nations League finals, the new FIVB competition that has taken the world by storm, really, over the last 6 weeks. These finals to be hosted by France in Lille. It's all coming up in July. Our women's champions to be decided over the next 3 days. Last day of pool play, and from those 6 teams, 4 will advance, top 2 from Pool A and B, to contest tomorrow's semi-finals. And it looks like the USA and Turkey will be going from this group, unless the Serbia can do something pretty special. Serbians need to recover the situation, otherwise they will be going home. Netherlands are definitely going home from Pool A, so Brazil and China play off after this match to see who will lead into the semi-finals from Pool A. Good heavy swing, and too much on it from Barch Hackley. Barchy, as she's known in this US team.
Super swing. I love that change of direction. You can see her open up, her shoulders are facing one way, and she finishes her arm down the opposite way, where the block is not.
5 points the advantage to the USA. Good finish from Boskovic. Really does work, some nice angles, and those strong shoulders are allowing her to hit some pretty impressive arm swings.
Yeah, definitely.
Another chance for a Serbian point. Milenkovic is blocked. 3 on her, and at the centre of that, once again, Rodeo. Had a good set in the block at the moment. That's the number 16 for America. Oh, it's brilliant. And the USA have really found some blocking rhythm in set 3, and they're making Serbia pay here.
Yep, the last set it looked like Serbia was getting all the blocks. They had all the momentum in the blocking game. USA is just backing it up a little bit this set. Catching up. 9 blocks, USA to 11, Serbia in this game.
Kabusa on. I'm not surprised to see Milenkovic vacate the court. He struggled to beat the block today. Milenkovic doesn't get the pass away, so free ball USA. Boskovic again from the back line, has to roll the shot over. And a second go for Tatori Dixon. Still in play here. Oh, wow. Makin Radea getting it right back to the net.
Oh.
And it's down.
Great decision by Blagijevic.
USA have been blocking so well. We've not had a mega rally for a while. So we were due one. Good scramble both sides of the net to keep this in play.
She sees 3 blockers up and knows that there's going to be a little hole right behind the middle of the blockers where there's no defender.
And that rather underlines what's happened to Serbia today. And if you win a point, lose a point, you just can't establish much of a rhythm. If you're losing those points on your own errors, it's very difficult. Miss from that slide attack from Serbia. And they're pretty much just giving points to the USA in this third set at the moment.
There's a freebie for Serbia.
We're due one. Lloyd with a wry smile to Libero Robinson after that service error. Straight back to work, though, for the American setter. Here's the Serbian setter, Zivkovic.
Good recovery.
Oh, wow. Well, Larsson really did accelerate to that ball to try and make a shot. That was a good one for the USA.
I think they were lucky that Murphy just happened to be running that way to make her approach, and she could recover that reception error. Bit of sweat on court.
Moisture. Bit of moisture on the playing surface. There we go. Again, the service error. So USA have to watch this a bit. Remember, they were 16-8 up in set 1 and nearly lost it when the errors started to creep in. So Karch-Kirai won't want to see them backing off from what has been an impressive rhythm in set 3. Busa with the serve. Well, Barch Hackley in that position today has not passed well, and that's why Busa is targeting her. She skips back a little as she makes the pass and just seems to drag the arms away.
Yeah, I can't speak much for a passer as a middle blocker, but yeah, that's definitely something that helps to run an offense, a good pass.
Boskovic hammers it into the corner. And again, some signs of a recovery here for Serbia, which US coach Karch-Kirai will be very concerned about. Another spike in the high 90s. Boskovic has been as high as 105 kilometers per hour today. That's quick. Timeout USA, and I'm not surprised. 4 points to play with here, and he doesn't want to lose any more of them.
He's going to go more draws than in-system red. So we got to adjust even more. Maybe Jordan, you go that way even more. Harley, maybe you go that way even more, okay? So let's go get it. Let's go get it.
Oh, USA! USA!
Carly Lloyd looking perplexed after that bit of info.
I was a little bit perplexed myself, I have to say. I'm not sure what the coach was trying to say, but I think they're clarifying that just there between the two of them. All I heard was, Larson, you go that way. Carly, you go that way. They might need a bit more information than that.
What they've got to do first of all is pass the ball to the setter. There we go. Good pick up, Perzic. Vukovic off the 3 blockers, so still in play for the USA. Murphy again. Can't quite put it away. Boskovic, though, can. Familiar story today. And Serbia on the comeback trail once more.
23 attack points. 24, excuse me, for Boskovic. She's really carrying that Serbian load at the moment. And that turn, that's the skill that she has. She sees where the block is. Blockers see her shoulders where she's aiming, and she just turns it at the last minute.
Well, Busa had done so well, and attacking Barch Hackley over on the right side as she's looking at the court, and suddenly decides to change the serve to line and misses it. 15-11. USA need to stabilise things here. Serbia need to keep pushing. Chances. Lloyd on the reverse to Murphy. Oh, it's a good hit from a long way off the net from Blagojevic.
Super swing by Blagojevic. I think she waited a little bit. She saw the block and just waited. And if you delay your arm in, as you're swinging and the blockers are already in the air, you catch them on the way down and they don't have the power.
Razic has had a couple of good service runs in this game. And it might be another one here coming up, because that's a fine block. But Lloyd's gone 3 times to Murphy in a row now. Murphy not putting the ball away at the moment. Got to switch it left side, I think. Or middle. And it goes to Barch Hackley, who gets the job done. 3-point lead for the USA as we head into the second technical timeout.
Yeah, USA's been a bit quiet through the middle, I think, in this set. And as soon as the passing stabilizes, that's what Carly's going to want to do. Establish the middle, keep the blockers on the other side honest.
Barch Hackley with that kill in the last rally, and I suspect she's going to be the player that gets this across the line for the USA. Leading scorer for them at the moment with 13 points, 11 of them attacks. Just looking at opponent errors, 23 opponent errors from Serbia at the moment, and that really is the difference. That's nearly a set's worth of errors. There's Barch Hackley. Not just about the attack, though. As you said, players have to be multi-dimensional in these new rotations.
Yeah, absolutely.
An interesting conundrum for Karch with the players that he puts out on court. Barch Hackley is so influential, but he doesn't always start her, and it's an interesting decision when he does that.
Well, I guess he learned from the last match where they had to come back from a deficit 2-0. And he's put her in, and they've started with an advantage 2-0. So I think we'll be seeing more of her as the finals go on. Absolutely.
Generally passes well. Her stats for the US passing unit this VNL has been good. But she does have that one rotation out there on the left side when she's right on the line, where a lot of teams do attack her and she struggles. But overall, still a very impressive athlete. And the problems at the service line continue for Serbia. Second service error for Boskovic in this set. Business end then of set 3. And this might be the last of Serbia's volleyball, or this inaugural Volleyball Nations League.
It's a super dump by the Serbian setter. And that's what we're talking about, keeping the blockers on the other side honest. And this, whenever the setter's front row, you have to be keeping an eye on her, make sure she's not going to put the ball over on the second contact. Good pick up.
Huge spike from Boskovic, but just wide of the court. USA will claim that they left that, and it was a good decision. On comes Hill for Akinradeo, so serve and defence for the wing spiker, who hasn't seen much court time here in Nanjing. Certainly not in the front line.
Triple block.
Still alive. Barchakli rolls it over. Serbia go again through Busa. Good pick up from Murphy. And a brilliant pick up from Barchakli, but unfortunately the ball goes in the wrong direction for her team. Serbia working hard for that point. Now they need to back it up with serves. Akinradeo back on, immediately vacates the court though for Robinson, the libero. Two points in it. But every time the USA attack, they take it back to 3. And in world-class volleyball, that is a very handy cushion. Once again, trouble for Barchakli in the pass. Sorted out by Jordan Larson.
Super set out of system by the libero Robinson. Great swing to finish.
Looks like Larson's going to be seeing her team through to the semi-final stage as leaders of Pool B. And another powerful spike goes long from Boskovic. And it looks like the Serbians' leading player is just running out of steam here in set 3.
Yeah, and that's it. We've said it before, but she's the powerhouse of the Serbian team. She's the point scorer, and if she's not on, they have to find other solutions. But they're putting a lot of pressure on her, keep giving the ball to her, and she's the last couple of errors.
Zoran Terzic's last throw of the VNL dice. Not sure there's much he can do now to influence the game from here. US fans will be able to support their team in the semi-finals by the looks of it. Never say never, as you've said before. During this great game, it can change.
Absolutely, they came back from more in the first set, so we'll see.
Good confident kill from Busa through the wing. Back to the three-point margin, 2017 USA. Serbia haven't served particularly well in this set. Too many errors. Zivkovic it is. Good line-up in the front court for Serbia, though. Oh, and that is cancelled out with a very strong attack from Dixon.
Super speed, super connection. Good pass to put them in a good position to run the middle. Boom. Split second, just a hair of time between contact between Carly Lloyd and Tori Dixon. And the power.
Tori Dixon with a little hand signal to say where she was going to line the block up on Boskovic, but also heard her shout, wait. They're really trying to slow themselves down on this slightly higher Boskovic set.
Yeah, definitely, because as we talked about earlier, if the block jumps before the attack, they're on the way down by the time the ball's coming over, and then they're not in a strong position to block.
Another good confident spike from Barchakli. The broad smile. Can't say it returns because it never really goes away. Just broadens.
Yeah, they've been comfortable this set, USA. They haven't really been put under any big pressure yet.
Overpass, and the second big finish for Akinradeo. She scored a lot of points in this set as the number 16.
Point will be on Akinradeo's score sheet, but actually the credit goes to the server, to Tori Dixon.
2 points now required by the USA. Second over pass. Barge Hackley this time gets in on the action, and that brings up match point and plenty of them.
Super serve.
Good save. But surely that just a stay of execution for Serbia. It's been a tough day for them today. They just haven't managed to really get going. And as soon as they lost that first set after a tremendous comeback, just haven't been able to force the issue. Barge Hackley for the match, and she's done it. And the USA go through into the semi-finals of the Volleyball Nations League here in Nanjing, courtesy of a very impressive win. 29-27, 25-22, 25-19. And the USA and Turkey book their places in tomorrow's semi-finals. Well, they were strong to start with. Serbia reined them in again, but that was a good 2 sets from the USA to finish it.
Yeah, absolutely. They came out strong, and bar a little wiggle in the middle of the first set, I think they kind of cruised through to the rest of the set, the rest of the match.
And Serbia missing Mihailovic.
Yeah, Serbian team's really, really one-dimensional at the moment. They're giving all the balls to Boskovic, and the USA team is much more spread out. They've got strength through every position and everyone's scoring, and I think that's what it came down to.
So we say goodbye to Boskovic, certainly one of the leading players in this inaugural Volleyball Nations League, but unfortunately won't grace the last 4. Serbia, they exit the competition along with the Netherlands. So we do know who our semi-finalists are now. We just have to wait and see who wins out of the next match between China and Brazil to know what the lineup will be in Saturday's semis. So China and Brazil through from Pool A, USA and Turkey through from Pool B. It's all courtesy of a convincing 3-0 victory for the USA against Serbia. Strong finish from the Americans, and that means that they will take a lot of confidence through to the semi-final stages tomorrow. Well, plenty to look forward to here in Nanjing, with Brazil and China to follow. 2 superpowers in action on court next, but let's enjoy the highlights from this one first of all. Let's take a look at the flow of the ball on our match point. And when it comes to our finals day, that flow of the ball, that ribbon, will be etched onto the medals as a keepsake for the final point of the match. With a nice memento to take away from the Volleyball Nations League final stages. 79-68, USA doing enough to get past Serbia. And apart from that scare in the first set where Serbia came back very strongly, really, that was pretty much plain sailing. And set 3, the most straightforward of those sets. But the opponent's errors, when you hit 25, and that means you've basically given a set to your opponents in direct errors, then that's never a healthy position to be in.
Yeah, I think the final score tells a different story than these stats. If I were looking at it just as an outside observer, I would say, yeah, Serbia had the advantage in this match, but...
Yeah, good blocks, good spikes, but too many errors, and that's the problem, isn't it? If you kill the ball and then you miss the next serve, there's no credit in the bank.
Yeah, that's right. They negate all the good work you've done beforehand in the blocking lineup.
So China-Brazil is the next match on court. And in terms of what things look like, confirmation that USA and Turkey go through from Pool B. Serbia, unfortunately, go home at this stage and don't make the semi-finals. Brazil and China now will play off in Pool A to decide who meets USA or who meets Turkey in Saturday's semi-finals. And time now to hear from Michelle Barch-Hackley courtside.
Barch-Hackley. Now, Michelle, first of all, congratulations.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Now, in your first match, you came in at the end of the second set. You provided an amazing spark plug for the U.S. This time, the starter from the beginning, and you proved that you should be on the court. How did you do that? Coming in from beginning to end, you were on fire.
Yeah, I think my teammates are trusting me a lot, which is really nice for me. I can play free at all point in time. So, I mean, my teammates are great. So I think that's really the only reason. Yeah.
At the end of the first and second set, both really good sets. What was the difference for you guys? Why were you able to pull out the close ones today?
Yeah, I think we were really patient, which yesterday we weren't patient very much. And I think we learned a lot yesterday, and we've seemed to have learned a lot from Turkey every time we've played them. So I think it was just we learned a lot, we improved, and we learned from yesterday.
Awesome. And then you sort of stepped on their throats, if you will, in the third. Could you sense they were dejected a little bit? Or what do you do when you see a team go down in two close sets like that and you just stomp on them?
Yeah, I mean, you can tell a little bit, but every team is good here, and I think we proved that yesterday. We were down 0-2 and came back, and I think it's just more fun for us to just keep going at them really hard when we're up, and I think we play a lot more free when that happens.
And now you guys are in the semifinals, playing either China or Brazil. Are you guys going to be here watching this match tonight?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I'm not sure. I don't actually know the schedule, so good question.
I like it, moment by moment. Well, maybe see you tonight. Definitely see you tomorrow. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thanks very much.
Good to hear from Michelle Barch-Hackley, and I can tell you the USA beat both China and Brazil in their lead up to these finals, so I'm not sure they'll be too concerned about who they play, but it will be China v Brazil to decide on our semi-final lineup, and that match will be coming up today. So decent match overall, USA with a lot of positives to build on.
Yeah, definitely. I think they'll be looking to come back even stronger tomorrow. They had a couple of errors, a couple of awesome points, but yeah, strong team, and they'll be pleased to play anyone. I think they're all smiles. They're happy to be here.
So far, so good then for Team USA. That's all from Game 1 on fantastic Friday here in Nanjing. Congratulations to the USA and Turkey for booking their semi-final berths. But now we turn our attention to the second match coming up in just over 3 hours' time as host China take on Brazil in another world-class VNL Classic. For now, though, it's goodbye and thank you for being part of the game.